Hi, it's Joe back with you again for sharing another thought. This is not a poetry reading. This time I'm sharing an experience with you, something that happened to me several years ago, a very unusual experience. I was turning about to walk down a set of stairs when the periphery of my vision changed. Um, things, the visual things went from a three-dimensional perspective to a two-dimensional perspective. It was like I was looking at a picture or painting. It was the same things, just everything appeared flat. And a section of that kind of broke loose and shifted a little bit. And everything within that area started running. Like a painting that wasn't quite dry and had liquid splashed on it, and it just started running. Um, Whatever was on my mind before that completely left. This experience had my complete attention. I blinked my eyes, and when I opened them, it was still happening. I glanced away, I glanced back, it was still happening. So I just stood there watching, and I let it happen. I didn't have much choice. I guess I could have walked away, but I wanted to see what the end result of this thing was going to be. Uh, the colors ran and blobbed up and oozed, and they got to the bottom of that area that kind of shifted, that almost puzzle piece like section. As the running colors touched the bottom edge of that, they very briefly stopped. And this had been happening kind of in slow motion, an odd effect. They got to the bottom, everything froze, not just the blob that hit the bottom, but the whole thing stopped happening. And then it all went in reverse. Everything went back up, and all the colors went back into place. And it jumped back from the 2D effect back to the 3D effect, and then it was over. A very unusual experience. Completely freaked me out. I never had any visual experience like that before. It was really unusual. Um, I sat down, regained my senses, ran through my head, had anything happened. I wasn't sick, I wasn't feeling bad, I hadn't taken any medication to feel better because I wasn't feeling bad. As far as I knew, I hadn't eaten any food that would have made me sick, that would have instigated hallucinations or anything. I felt fine. I was clear-headed. It was all good, except for that just very unusual, weird distortion and then melting of reality. It was just, I can't really explain it. It was so unusual. But it got me thinking over the years since it's happened, and everything else going on in the world, the collective consciousness of humanity, realizing that the tangible physical world around us is really not what we've uh, been told it was, what we've learned that it should be, what it's supposed to be. It's really completely different from that. And things happen the way they do basically because that's what we expect to happen. Moment to moment is what we expect to occur after something else. So we get the time lapse, the sequential occurrences of things, when in reality this existence doesn't have to be that way. The options that are around us that can happen are limitless. Our physical world is so malleable. It's amazing. It's beyond what we can wrap our minds around, wrap our physical minds around. Our physical thoughts are so limited by our experiences and just the fact that we're physical. It's just very limiting. There's so much more potential in the world that we're in. This experience that I had of that section of my visual reality simply pulling loose of what was around it and melting away, I think was just another part of myself showing me the potential of changes, of other possibilities that exist. It's so much more than anybody could even imagine, really. It's just one of those odd, random occurrences. I can't really explain it, why it happened, exactly what it is that happened, other than reality just kind of shifted and blurred, but then jumped back to itself, and the next moment happened the way I was expecting it to. What was going on in my mind that caused that, mental hiccup? That caused that brief interruption in reality was very unusual. Very odd indeed. So I was just putting this out there, how it relates to my normal poetry readings and other things that I have been sharing with you. Things will come together. They'll come together, you'll see. For now, I hope you actually listen to it and take it in and think about it. And just think about it. Think about the possibilities. And while you're doing that, I'll continue living my moments and just see what happens. So while we're each having our moments, we'll move on, and I hope you have beautiful moments. Until next time, have a beautiful day.